And so we are off to the races. It is going to be a glorious, pectorious day. And I couldn't be more excited because I feel like after such an intense leg day yesterday, I kind of primed my nervous system for just being able to handle a lot more endurance today. So that being said, we will be putting quite a bit of effort and I guess passion, is that the word, into this chest day. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I haven't even checked the program yet, but if I had to guess, we're going to be starting off with some sort of incline movement, probably like an incline shovel punch. And the main reason why we do like a shovel punch instead of just a regular dumbbell bench, and sometimes we do a dumbbell bench, but most of the time we're doing a shovel punch mainly for shoulder protection, because if you're starting off with just regular incline dumbbell bench, well, all I gotta say is just make sure that you're warming up quite a bit, because it's pretty easy to flare your elbows and then put your shoulders in a pretty precarious position. And since shoulders are one of the most common injuries, just rotator cuff stuff and all that fun stuff, then that's something that we want to be especially wary of. But yeah, that's going to be the plan for today. It's probably going to be like an incline movement to start off with, followed by maybe a flat movement, and then throwing a fly somewhere, and then maybe like another incline movement. And that's mainly because that's where I need to improve the most. Just a bigger chest overall, but if you're looking at like a side chest shot, you want to make sure that you're having as some people call it, like a water bottle holder kind of chest. Like you just want to have a very pronounced, like Arnold Schwarzenegger looking chest, just to round out the whole look. And also from the front, that's one place that I kind of struggled with and actually got docked points from at some of the previous competitions I've done, because when I'm doing like a men's physique shot from the front, they're looking at pretty much everything upper body. So when my shoulders were bigger than my chest, it didn't look so good. Like it was like, you kind of had nice cap delts for the shoulders, but when it came to the chest, that's where, we need to make our improvements. But anyways, that is the freaking plan for today. It's interesting, just like the productivity curve that comes with, or just like how you're productive, because what I was planning on this morning was to get up, edit, and write, and just keep on writing. But I kind of had I guess you could call it like a block, but I'm essentially at the part of the book where the character is supposed to explain how Transcendental Meditation works. But I was doing a lot of research on it, and just the history of Transcendental Meditation, for those of y'all that aren't familiar with it, the guy who started it is Maharishi Yogi. I think, yeah, it's like Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, something like that. But he started it like in the 50s, and it was just this really big movement. And so now it's like practiced, it's taught pretty regularly. But yeah, so that's what I was doing my research on. But apparently, like, they had like emphasized the fact that the more personalized you have the mantra, the worse it is. So paradoxically, you want it to be as least personable as possible, because if you have it more personalized, then you have to think about it more, and you have to make more decisions, and then you also have a higher expectation of what it's supposed to bring you if you personalize it more. So I thought that was pretty interesting, because I just figured the more personalized, the better. But what they were saying is they used to go by, like, they'd have a list where it was like, if you're this age and this gender, then you're going to use this mantra. But now it's just, if you're this age, you're going to use this mantra. And they haven't published the official list of mantras publicly. And that's mainly because they want to keep, that very personal instruction alive with a lot of their teachers and, what they're doing. So that's that was a pretty interesting caveat to everything that I was doing. But at the same time, I feel like as I'm writing this book, like, I need to go through a lot of these different things. Like, I've tried every meditation that I'm writing about in this book. And then I've also had certain reactions like some of the characters do in the book. So it's like, I feel like I need to go through it first before I write about it. And I also don't want to write about it if it's just wrong. So that's the other thing. So anyways, not much else to say there. We're just going to go get this freaking chest pump, and then cardio after, a little meditation after. But that's about freaking it. Not much else to say but to get to it. All right, so that just about concludes a good chest day. And I think what's different about this one is because I did not take the clen before, so I'm just a little more exhausted than usual. It's not a huge deal. It's just we're gonna be able to, we're gonna have to take it right as we get home with our next meal. So that's just kind of how it is. But anyways, I still got to check my weight today too, but it's going to be a lot different now than if I were to check it fasted. So let's just see how we're looking with proper chest pump. Yeah, man. All right, so that just about wraps it up for today. But yeah, we just got to get shaken, then our cardio, and then another meal, and then our second meditation. So it's all in the plan. But I'll probably see y'all probably for the second meditation, because why not? All right, welcome back to Casa de Mi. Yeah, we're gonna get into this freaking meditation. That was a solid chest workout, but anyways, let's just freaking dive right in. I need my phone. Oh man, all these spam callers. All right, that's gonna remind me. Putting my phone on Do Not Disturb definitely helps drop into the meditation a lot easier. But yeah. Oh yeah, we're just getting messages, so. All right, let's jump right into it. 20 minutes on the clock. If you want your own personalized transcendental meditation mantra, check the description below and we can meditate together. But let's just freaking get into it. 20 minutes, 3, 2, 1. So I usually spend about like 30 seconds after each meditation just letting the mantra go, because it kind of helps stabilize going back into, everyday life. So, but yeah, that was freaking sweet. That was dope. I had a few transcendental experiences there. And what I mean by transcendental experiences, because that can sound like a little woo-woo, is when you're transcending your thoughts, your feelings, and your perceptions. And when I say feelings, it's like both emotions and physical sensations. So when you have one of those experiences, oh, my legs were asleep. The blood's rushing. Kind of hurts a little. So when I have one of those experiences, it's like I'm like in this deep state of relaxation and bliss, and it's almost like I heard somebody describe transcendental meditation like this once, where you have, like, it's almost like an ocean, right? You have different levels of thought. So on the top, on the surface, there might be waves, there might be crashes, there might be all this different stuff happening. So that's like your everyday thoughts, like, where do I need to be right now? What do I need to do after school, after work, after, both planning and just looking in the past. That's like, those are the waves and the crashes on top. But then you go a little bit lower, and then it's just a little calmer. So it's like, you still have a little bit of, those remnants from the waves, but it's a little calmer. And then you keep going down and down and down. And then at the bottom of the ocean, it's actually really peaceful and it's really still. And so that's how I like to think of it with this process of transcendental meditation, where it's like, you're not trying to force anything. You're not trying to force the mantra into being, because the more you force, the more force that it'll throw at you, in forms of like irritation, frustration, all these different things. So if you don't force and you just gently come back to the mantra when you notice that your attention's drifted, then you'll go deeper and deeper and deeper until you get to this place of deep rest and bliss. But I wouldn't even think of it like that, because then that just creates an expectation, like you should be getting to that place of deep rest and bliss. Just keep gently coming back to the mantra and don't force it. That's the key, is really just not forcing anything. And when it feels natural to notice your thoughts and return to the mantra, then do it, But if you feel like you're like gritting your teeth and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta stay on this mantra, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. I've tried it. Trust me, I've tried it, and I'm sure plenty of other people have tried it. And it just ends up being like, the more aggression that you use to get back to that mantra, the more aggression that is going to come right back to you. And you're not going to really be at peace if you're aggressively going towards it. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, don't force it, just freaking go with the flow. If it feels natural, gently come back to the mantra. But anyways, enough of the meditation talk. Great chest day today. Great posing. We are definitely getting leaner. Like, we've dropped, I think we're at like last time we weighed in, I was like 212.4 fasted. And we started this cut at about like 226. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that is water, a lot of it's carbs, you know, it's not like it's all fat, but we're definitely on the right track. And the main thing that we're looking for is the look. And I've noticed in my abdominal region, especially, we've gotten a lot leaner. It's usually like my shoulders and my arms lean out pretty quickly, and then my abdominals, and then my legs are the last to go. So I've never, even when I competed, in classic, I wasn't that crazy shredded. Like, I was pretty lean. I was probably like around like 7 or 8%, but I wasn't like, you know, insane like 5%, whatever. So I'm used to competing in men's physique. And in men's physique, I mean, depending on what your genetics are, you could probably get away with not being as lean, but appearing leaner. And it worked really well for me because I never needed to show my legs. But if I got down to that like 7-8% body fat, abs were shredded, arms were shredded, everything on top, like upper body, was good to go. But the legs, you know, I came in at that same 7-8% for my last 2 competitions. My legs just weren't there. They were just they weren't conditioned enough. So that's where it's going to be kind of interesting doing this. And I'm naming this series The Cut because I have no idea when I'm going to stop this cut. It's basically like a week by week thing, and it's just based on how healthy I feel, you know. So if I feel like I'm getting down to a super lean level and I just don't feel healthy anymore, that's when we'll push the muscle growth as much as possible, try to fill out a little bit more. So I'm thinking we're going to run this cut up until I'm probably around like anywhere from like 8 to 10%. So like pretty freaking lean, like close to show ready, but not quite there. And then we'll start incorporating the IGF, we'll start incorporating the YK11, and we'll probably run that cycle for about 8 weeks. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be pretty freaking gnarly, to say the least, to see how lean we can get. And then when we fill out and we really push the muscle growth, yeah, that's going to be a freaky look. I'm excited for that. But anyways, we're just about done for today. Good chest workout, cardio session, and now we grubbed already. So I think I'm going to go spend some quality time with my family, and then work a little bit more, get these videos uploaded, and then yeah, I think we're gonna be finishing up season 3 of Bridgerton, and then moving on to probably like, I don't know, season 4, like Queen Charlotte or something. But I gotta say, Bridgerton's not a bad show. I've been enjoying it for the most part. So that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow for friggin' delt workout. It's gonna be an early one because we're heading over to San Jose tomorrow because Easter's on Sunday and my family likes celebrating that. So we're gonna be going to visit my family and my extended family and have a good time this weekend before we go back to work. So that being said, good to see y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow for some delt destruction.